Hi everyone, this is Angela Forker from Precious Baby Photography, and I'm here today with my new valYOUable series. I was thrilled to meet up with my niece Tabitha so she could tell her miraculous story of surviving a motorcycle accident that left her unable to walk, breathe, or eat on her own. Besides suffering a stroke and other serious injuries, she broke every bone in her face and doctors had to reconstruct her face. Tabitha shares her story of determination that has brought her to the place where she is today. My favorite part about our photo session is the photo of her on the stairway up this giant hill, symbolic of her huge progress, constantly moving upward. Doctors told her she would never walk again, but on the day of our session, she walked down all of those 38 plus steps and then back up them again. It was an incredible moment for me to witness. Tabitha's story will inspire you to never give up hope and to strive to find God's purpose for your life.
Hi, my name is Tabitha Signor. I grew up in a household with 4 siblings. My dad drove semi over the road. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. In school, I did some sports, but I just never seemed to feel like I fit in. It just seemed like I was either the outside, I don't know. But somehow I made it through, and I ended up having a family of my own. I have 3 kids. Having my kids really helped. I grew up and I felt like I was needing and worth something. From my first 2 marriages, I dealt with a lot of physical, mental abuse but with my kids, they help, make it better and bring things out. They always help keep me moving and keep me going in the right path. I started having a lot of struggle still throughout. And then when my first grandson came, who's 8 years old now, really seemed to help make things a lot better and make things easier for me, worth living for. Mm-hmm. And then my second grandson came along, and now I have 2 granddaughters. So they help out a lot. Mm-hmm. Then on July 19th, 2020, I had a horrific motorcycle accident. I was leaving a wedding reception in Eden, Ohio, and didn't know that I was leaving, and missed a curve coming around. When I wrecked, I ran my motorcycle through a road sign. I went straight through it. So with that being said, it ripped my whole face off and ripped my neck backwards. I had to have reconstructed face surgery. I have screws in my neck so I can move my neck even a little bit so I'm not paralyzed. I had to be flown from the scene when the accident happened. They couldn't find me laying underneath my motorcycle. And when they finally found me and they flew me to the hospital, I ended up having a stroke. When I got to the hospital, they had to put a stent in. They didn't think that I would make it. They didn't think I'd make it 24 hours.
Wow. I'm just going to add, you had a lot of people praying for you. And those prayers were answered.
So I broke my right arm. I fractured my back in 3 spots. I broke my right foot. And I think the main thing is I had the stroke. So with that, I was not able to move my left arm. My left leg, from the get-go at the hospital, they said had been moving. I don't know, because I don't remember any of that part of it. But I know that it's taken a lot. I've had a lot of therapy. When I was in the hospital in ICU, after they realized that that I made it through the 24 to 48 hours that they gave me, they started physical therapy fairly early on that I remember, because I remember being in ICU and not liking that they were trying to get me out of bed when I was in so much pain. But they had me up trying to walk, and the doctors made it clear they didn't know why that they were trying to walk me, because they said that I'd never walk. And at the time I also had a feeding tube, so I was being fed through a tube in my stomach, and they told me that I would probably always have to have that. I would never probably get that out. I actually had that in the whole time I was in the hospital. I actually had my mouth wired shut too, because where I ripped everything off my face, I don't know why. I'm not sure why it was all wired shut. I know probably from just the impact.
Well, didn't they say you broke about every bone in your face?
Possibly. You might know more than I do, because I'm not quite sure. I know that they ripped everything, and so like my nose that I have now, they reconstructed it. The doctor did with his hand. They couldn't even do it like he normally would do it.
Wow.
Just because he said that there was just no way that just what had to be done. And I have seen all my doctors since then, and that doctor could not even believe that he could see me. He thought he'd never see me again.
Oh, wow.
When I was in the hospital, they had the therapy. When I was done at rehab in the hospital, I ended up going to a nursing facility by Parkview for 2 weeks for more, because I also had a trachea.
Yes.
And that was part of the problem, is the trach was helping me breathe. Or the good thing was the trach had fallen out a couple different times while I was in the hospital, and nobody knows, but the way the doctor got it to get back in, he just shoved it in.
Ooh.
Just pushed it in your neck.
Ooh.
So they wouldn't let me come home until I didn't have my trach anymore. So they had to send me to a nursing facility for 2 weeks. I actually came home Labor Day weekend to my house that I was staying in Fremont.
Oh, wow.
2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago I came home on Labor Day weekend, because it was a headache, because, coming home on a holiday weekend, they were not expecting. They didn't have any medicine ready, but we seemed to manage. I slept in a recliner chair for probably a little while till we could get the bed brought, but it was worth all that. I came home in a wheelchair, came home in a back brace. I was walking at the hospital when I left. When I got home, we had an island in our kitchen, and I'd get up and I'd walk around the island at least 2 to 3 times a day with help, because they didn't want me to fall. And then I started physical therapy right after that, right when I came home, at a local physical therapy, and did that 3 times a week, and we got it to where I can walk, I can move my leg. My left arm still isn't doing what it's supposed to be doing, but it's getting better. I can grip. I still have a lot of trying to figure out why and the worth. But
What were you going through? What were you thinking about when you were in the hospital?
my kids and my grandkids, because I didn't get to see any of them. I did get to video chat in the hospital, but after seeing some of the pictures of the accident scene, it was hard realizing what the kids and all of them went through. Even my 4-year-old granddaughter today will say, we have to just make you more safe if you're on a bike. You can't have you go through that again. So it's just that she realizes the danger of things. This has helped my self-worth on some days, and then some days I feel like it's brought me backwards. I feel like it's a struggle every day not being able to use that left. I mean, I drive, I live on my own, so I do all that. But to be able to do some things with that left arm not working and doing, it's a little bit of a challenge every day. So every day you wake up and you have to figure out how you're going to manage. And if you don't have a good positive, then it turns out to be bad.
So I would like to ask you, if there's someone who's going through a situation like yours, they're thinking I may never walk again, or whatever it is that they can't do, and they're facing an impossible situation, what would your word of encouragement be for them?
Never quit. Never quit.
Are you glad you didn't quit?
Yes.
Is your family glad you didn't quit?
Yes.
I can tell you, we are glad you didn't quit.
Yes.
And I'm going to add that I believe in the power of prayer.
I would say yes, and I believe that there is, I'm here for a reason. I don't know what the reason.
That's interesting, because I was going to say something. And I was going to tell you that you are here for a reason. That's exactly what I was going to tell you. Surely God spared you for a reason. And if even just for your determination, people have been following you. People have been watching you at the gym, working and working and working and refusing to believe that arm will never work again.
Yes.
You have been such an inspiration to all of us. But I don't think it's just that. I believe God has a purpose for your life. He spared you. He didn't just spare you. He spared your life, and then He's brought you to do the impossible on so many different levels in your body.
Yes.
And I believe it's for a purpose. It's for a reason. You were meant to continue living, to continue speaking into your family's lives, but also into lives around you.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you, you are valuable. And God loves you so much. And He loves you so much that He has brought such healing in your body. And I pray that God continues to show you day by day just how valuable you are to Him in His eyes, and what a great plan that He has for you.
I hope so.
I know so. I love you, Tabby.
Love you too.